Thanks for having me out. Just want to give a few thank yous to go out. Thanks to Amber Skies community. So we get a big round of applause for the folks that put this together. Thanks to all of our veterans in attendance. I see a World War II cap over here, you know, and I know there's plenty of others. To our Vietnam veterans that are in attendance, welcome home, brothers. So I figured we'd get this thing started. I've got some family here that came down to visit from Phoenix, Navy veteran Mitch Taylor and Gloria. Thanks for coming down. Also got my sister came down, my brother-in-law, and I've got a couple of my heroes, few of my heroes in attendance today. My dad who raised me, and then two Vietnam veterans, my Uncle Bob and Uncle Courtney. So a part of my speech is kind of who they made me and what we're about. So any history buffs in attendance? People like history? There you go. All right, so I read the other day that the shortest speech in American history was about 2 minutes long, and that was the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. Yep. One of the longest speeches in American history was Strom Thurmond. He did a filibuster in Congress. His was about 24 hours. Yeah. So I could tell you, mine's gonna land somewhere in there, you know. But I know I was given some ground rules, and it was like, hey, Sergeant Chacon, don't talk politics. And I'm gonna tell you what, that is not me, because if any of you have served overseas, who could care less what political party you're in? It's all about your brother and sister to your left and right, you know. Let me talk about our brothers and sisters, and that's what today's about. Memorial Day is all about honoring the fallen, so I want to talk about honor a little bit. Honor. Heroes. Warriors. I call them sheepdogs. And if anybody hasn't heard that term before, it was an old Vietnam veteran who told this story about, you've got about 98% of the American public are sheep. And there's nothing wrong with being a sheep because they're compassionate and they're kind. But they can only hurt each other by accident. And you've got another 1% who are the wolves. And the wolves are out there ready to attack our sheep. And we serve because we know they're overseas. But just like all of you, I raised my right hand and I swore to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Which leaves the sheepdog, the 1%, the real 1%. Those out there to protect the flock. And those of you that know right now, the American military make up less than 1% of the American population. So it takes one dog to protect the flock from wolves. And that's what we do. But I'm going to talk about a couple of them because that's all I know. I don't write any speeches down. This is from the heart, you know. And thanks to the Honor Guard, you know, hearing taps play. I mean, I didn't want to get too emotional in the morning, you know, but it's hard not to. But let me tell you about some of my heroes that served. First one was my platoon sergeant, Sergeant First Class AC out of Chaga. So I deployed in Afghanistan 2010, 2011. We get in the country and they put me with an infantry team. And I'm like, whoa, I'm Air Force, you know. They're like, yeah, good for you. We need an engineer, you're gonna roll with us. Okay. The Sergeant First Class out of Chaga, I'm gonna tell you what, he was the first one off the MRAP. And the MRAP is those big vehicles that took over for the Humvees, but he was the first one into battle, and he made sure he was the last one off. Making sure we got home. On 29 March 2011, Sergeant First Class out of Chaga and 5 more of my brothers were killed in action. In one of the biggest battles since the Vietnam War. It was a 5-day battle. We killed 167 Taliban. They killed 6 of our own. Sergeant First Class out of Chaga. Let me tell you about Private First Class Barbara Vieira. 22 years old from Mesa, Arizona. She was a single mom. She was the first one to graduate high school from her family. She joined the Army so she could make a better way for her daughter. 1 month in country and she was killed by an RPG. One more hero I want to tell you about, Staff Sergeant Sierra Rogers. Peacetime mission. She was in Korea, went out shopping, and on her way home she saw a burning building and cries for help. Without hesitating, she ran into that burning building, kicking doors down, kicking windows out, and saved a mother and her 3 kids. One month later, Staff Sergeant Rogers died from injuries sustained from that. She didn't hesitate, she didn't ask why, she reacted. And those are just 3 heroes right there. And there's so many more. So many more. So we need to honor our heroes. And how do we do that? And I'll tell you how. Never forget, right? Never forget. And I'm not here to bring people down, I'm just here to be honest with you. So who likes jokes? How about a joke? Let me throw a joke in there. Who likes jokes? All right, thank you. All right, so anybody here from Arizona? All right, I'm from Arizona, okay? And there's a law in Arizona that says only people from Arizona can tell jokes about Arizona, okay? So I got this friend, his name's Joe, he's from California. It's kind of funny. So he's from California, so he invites me out, and he's like, hey, JC, come on out to San Diego, we're gonna go to the beach, you wanna go to the beach? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go to the beach. So we went to the beach, and we're walking down the beach, and we see this flyer, and this flyer says, a beach cruise for $5. What are y'all thinking? That's a good deal. Yeah. I told you, I was raised by my dad, it's like, be smart with your money. So the flyer said, show up to the Holiday Inn, room 5, bring your $5 with you. So me and Joe were like, all right, let's go. So we went to the Holiday Inn, we knocked on room 5, you know, we had our $5, and bam, got hit in the head. Me and Joe both woke up in the Pacific Ocean, bobbing, tied to a log. Well, I'm a tough guy. I don't let anybody see me fold. So I wake up, Joe wakes up, and I look over at Joe, and I'm like, hey, Joe, do you think they're gonna serve peanuts on this cruise? Well, Joe looks at me and he said, well, they didn't last year. So there's a moral to that story, right? That joke is Joe forgot. When something bad happened, Joe forgot. And sometimes that's what the sheep do. September 11, 2001. I don't even have to say what happened because I see the nods in attendance. But guess what? If you fast forward a few years and I think America has forgotten. Until September 11th, every year anniversary, but people forget. But guess who doesn't forget? The sheepdog. The sheepdog lived for that day. We live for that day. We wear this uniform because guess what? If something bad happens, send me. Every time I hear of a shooting at these schools, and I'm getting tired of hearing about these shootings at schools, but one thing I think about, you know, and I know it drives my wife crazy, but I always say, man, I wish I was there. I wish I was there because I think something would happen. We would do great things. And the sheep thinks, I'm glad I wasn't there. And that's the difference. Never forget. Never forget. Memorial Day is one day, but I'm going to tell you what, there is not one single day that I do not think about my friends, my brothers, and my sisters who were killed in action. Not one day goes by, so never forget. And the last part I want to talk to you about is responsibility. Whose responsibility is it, right? Well, let's break that word down a little bit. There's response and there's ability, right? So I told you when Sergeant First Class out of Chaga told me, hey, yeah, I'm glad you're in the Air Force, but guess what, buddy? We're going out. And I remember emailing my Uncle Bob and telling him, hey, I got an opportunity to go with the infantry. He goes, good, yeah, don't be a sitting duck, go out there. Be the hunter. And I told AC, because he said, this is our mission, this is what we got to do. We're taking supplies up to the Afghan army up in Pakistan. Need you to be ready. And I said, well, what do you need from the Air Force? He said, well, it's your responsibility. And I had to think about that. I had to think about the word responsibility. Did I have the ability to do that? Yes. Had a rifle in hand and I was trained what to do. The question is, how did I respond? How did I respond? And without hesitation, he was a man that I wanted to follow. So that's your response. And people have different ways to responding to their abilities, right? An example on now how to be responsible is, I think my wife told me the other day, she's like, hey, are you gonna grill this weekend for my son's graduation? He just graduated high school this Friday. She says, are you gonna grill? And I said, do I have the ability to grill? Sure. My response was, let's use the Foreman grill. Not a good response. Not a good response, okay? So that's what I'm telling you. Think about your abilities, think about what you can do, and respond in certain ways. I believed in Sergeant First Class Adachaka. I believed that I was coming home. I believed in him. But I'll do you one better. He got me to believe in myself. After every mission, he would tell me, great job. You did your job. You did what you have to do. Got me to believe in myself. That was his responsibility. So I want to challenge everyone in attendance today on responsibility. By the end of the day, get somebody to believe in you. But by the end of the week, if you can get somebody to believe in themselves, we will become a greater nation together. We will become a greater nation together. So I told you about our heroes, our sheepdogs, our warriors. And I remember this firefight I got to talk about because it was my first one. Got caught in a crossfire for about 30 minutes. Shooting, and more shooting. And nothing bonds people closer together than when you're next to somebody. And as soon as we got back to the base, first thing I did was call my Uncle Bob. And I was breathing hard, I was in a panic, and he just told me, calm down. You'll be all right. And I said, well, don't tell anybody. That didn't happen, right? So my dad found out about it, and he was with my Uncle Corny, who's over there, you know, and my dad said, yeah, he's with the 101st, and my Uncle Corny's response was, oh, he's in great hands with me. Screaming Eagles took care of me. My heroes. And we will never forget. And we all have a responsibility. So in closing, this is the only thing I will read today. When I saw this is an excerpt. These good men, friendships forged for more. From Sergeant Michael Norman, Marine Corps Vietnam combat veteran. I now know why men who have been to war yearn to reunite. Not to tell stories or look at old pictures, not to weep or laugh. Comrades gather because they long to be with the people who once acted at their best, who suffered and sacrificed, who were stripped of their humanity. I did not pick these men. They were delivered by fate and the military. But I know them in a way I know no other men. I have never given anyone such trust. They were willing to guard something more precious than my life. They would have carried my reputation, the memory of me. It was part of the bargain we all made, the reason we were willing to die for one another. And I'll tell you, as long as I have memory, I will think of them all every day. I am sure that when I leave this world, my last thoughts will be of my family and my comrades.